So out here by the dumpster for the last couple days has been the stove, and you see it in the state it's in right now because I've been taking all the screws off, thinking, man, all this metal here, I could use this to make my beach scoop. The plan is to take this piece of metal I got from the oven, use it as a scoop. Put this board right here, and while I was pushing down on that board, I bent up, kind of like an angle bender. I took a magnet out of a speaker that happened to be sitting right there at that same dumpster. I have this magnet behind that mesh. And so far, that's what I got. I feel like I'm making a mailbox. I'm going to cut it down to probably about here. Slice that off. So far it's coming together. Alright, that looks pretty cool. I need to cut it. Now I do have a problem. And that is I got screws, like this screw right there and that screw there, that are penetrating the inside. So I will figure something out for those holes. See, that is not going to help when I retrieve my precious gems. I need a handle. It just so happens that I have a fiberglass, I believe this is fiberglass anyway, fiberglass handle. It's already got a rubber grip! So with that rubber grip, that's going to be awesome. Fiberglass is super light, and I can't use it with this anyway. It'll splinter off, and honestly, I live in an apartment right now, so I can't use a shovel anyway. I've got a metal blade. Alright, I've gone ahead and sanded around the edges. I used 50 grit paper. That way, when I reach into my bucket, I don't cut myself. I also went over the head of the screw. I'm probably going to replace that with like a nut so that I can put the bolt side out here and not cut myself that way. But even this part right here that looks really rough, went over it with the sandpaper. So it's got a little rough spots, a little bit of rough spots right there, but I've sanded it down quite a bit. And now I just got to figure out what I'm going to do on this side to make it all work. Alright, so this is the back side. Big old chunk of metal that I got from the oven. There's a pretty good L-beam there. Screwed it into the side, and as you can see here, yes, it is fiberglass, but it's got a metal core, so that's pretty cool. I got the little metal mesh in there. I put a couple screws in. One's right here where it's protruding to the outside, which is not cool, and one here is protruding to the outside. Now this one, if you take a look at it, you can actually see I've sanded down the end. I'm going to do the same thing to this side here in just a second. See, right now that's still pretty sharp, so I'm going to sand that down. But even like that hole, it's got the little mesh in there, so the sand should go through there pretty easy. And then I'm going to take that magnet that's right over there and I'm going to take it and put the magnet back here in the back. Alright, I believe I'm about done. Got the magnet in there, being held in by a little rod, so that that should hold it in place. I know it's not screwed in on the other side, but it should hold it pretty well. It's pretty thick, so even if it had pressure coming back on it, it should hold it in place. I may see that hole back there at the back. I may go ahead and connect the two, but I don't think I need to. So I sanded that down, got those two screws on the inside. The only screw I have to worry about is that one on the inside, and I sanded that one down. The one on the other side is just holding the mesh in place. I got a couple other screws in there holding the mesh in place. So at this point, I'm just going to drill a couple of holes in the body of this thing, but it's pretty solid. As far as the weight, I would say this thing probably weighs, I don't know, probably about 8-9 pounds. So I'm going to go ahead and drill some holes in there. Here's my scoop. Now granted, my scoop did okay. It did its job. I was able to find stuff. The magnet, as far as I know, didn't really pick anything up. And kind of came loose from the handle, but it's still on there pretty solid. So I got a bunch of holes on there. So it looks like on the inside. Did a pretty good job. I'm going to need more holes. And otherwise it's pretty sturdy. But definitely need more holes in this thing because it doesn't drain very quickly at all. I made the scoop for free.